Hello guys, this is Adeep. Hope you're all doing great and welcome back to another exciting video from MotorHub. So today's vlog is about the all new 2021 Pulsar F250. The Pulsar F250 and N250 are the new additions to the existing Pulsar lineup. As you can see, the F250 gets side fairings while the N250 is naked, and I will be uploading a separate video for the N250. So before going into the details, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon to not miss any of my future updates. So this Pulsar now gets a bigger engine, as it lies in the name itself. The F250 gets a 250cc 2-valve engine, and this is a completely new engine and is not the same that is used in the Dominar 250 as some might think. The Pulsar F250 gets fully LED lights for the headlamp, tail lamp and turn indicators too. In terms of dimensions, it is 1.9 meters in length, 0.7 meters in width, 1.35 meters of wheelbase, 795 millimeters of seat height and 165 millimeters of ground clearance. It gets a tubular chassis and 5 years or 75,000 kilometers of warranty as standard. The Pulsar F250 is currently available in two colors. One is red and the other is grey, which is right in front of us. And coming to the elephant in the room, the Pulsar F250 retails at an ex-showroom price of Rs 1,40,000. Now let's closely see the features of the all-new Pulsar F250. The F250 looks aerodynamic in design, and in the front it gets these boomerang-shaped LED DRLs, and even the headlight is a LED unit with a projector setup, and on the top you get a masked visor. And down here you get the turn indicators, which are also LED and work like this. And coming to the front suspension setup, it gets a 37mm telescopic suspension, and there is a reflector placed right there on the front fork on either sides. And coming to the braking section, in the front it gets a 300mm ventilated disc with single channel ABS. The alloy wheels are also finished in grey color, and as you can see, it gets these reflector stickers placed on the rim. The tire size happens to be 100 by 80/17, and these are tubeless tires. And as you can see, even the front mudguard gets some stickering which extends to the side of the body. And coming to the engine, it gets a 250cc single cylinder oil cooled fuel injected engine which produces a peak power of 24.5 PS and a maximum torque of 21.5 Newton meters. And this is the rider's footrest and brake pedal, exhaust, and the rear disc brake reservoir. And at the rear it gets a nitrox monoshock suspension. It gets a 230mm disc at the rear, and the tire size happens to be 130 by 70 R17. F250 written right there. And this is the LED tail lamp of the vehicle. And the rear passenger grab rails are finished in silver. And moving down, you get a number plate holder and a reflector placed right there. And now let's move to the other side of the vehicle. The F250 gets a 5-speed manual transmission. Yes, it only gets 5 gears, and the gear pattern is similar to that of the other Pulsars, which is 1 down and 4 up pattern. It also gets slipper clutch with assist, and as you can see at the rear it gets a sari guard. And there is an air dam over here for that aerodynamic effect. And the fuel tank capacity happens to be 14 liters, and the USB charger is placed between the handlebar and the fuel tank. And you also get some storage space under this seat, which can be opened by placing a key down here and unlocking it. So yeah, definitely not much of a storage space, but as they say, something is better than nothing. This is how the key of the vehicle looks, and as soon as you turn on the ignition, it does a full swipe of the tachometer like this, and also the switchgear lights turn on, and on the left you get this high or low beam. This is the power switch, and on the right you get the engine kill switch. And coming to the instrument console, in the middle you get a tachometer, and on the left you get some telltale lights, and on the right you get a multi-information display which basically shows you the digital speedometer, gear position, average fuel economy, time, fuel level. And you also get some telltale lights on the top, and toggling this button shows you the trip meter and trip 1 is only shown, and pressing the other button over here shows you the trip 2, distance to empty, odometer, and again trip 1. So that is about it. And now let's hear the exhaust note of the vehicle. Now let's get riding. So initial impressions, the bike feels much refined than the previous Pulsars and the exhaust is quite bassy, and you should definitely hear it in person as the mic will not justify the exhaust note. The torque is now higher than any of the previous Pulsars, let it be 220F or the 200 NS. And due to this, it pulls two adults of roughly 75 kgs each without any effort whatsoever, and the engine is very punchy in the mid-range of the power band. And this 250cc engine, as I said earlier, might be confused with the Dominar's 250cc engine, which is not the case because the Dominar 250 gets 4 valves, dual overhead cams and liquid cooling, contrary to the 2 valve single overhead cam and oil cooling setup of the F250. This is why the D250 generates slightly more power and torque. It redlines at almost 10,000 rpm, and this Pulsar gets only a 5-speed gearbox, which is for cost reasons, and also it doesn't need a 6-speed gearbox is what Bajaj feels considering the way the gearing has been done. The clutch is also on the lighter side and the gear shifts are smooth. The F250 weighs 164 kgs, which is not the heaviest in segment, but it is not the lightest either. And also the N250 is 2 kgs lesser than the F250 due to the lesser body panels alone. Coming to fuel efficiency, it gets an ARI certified range of 546 km from its 14 liters fuel tank, which roughly converts to 39 to 40 km per liter, but the real world figures are yet to be known and will possibly be around the range of the Pulsar 220F. In city traffic, it feels easy to ride, nimble and agile. The clip-on handlebar feels quite sporty. The suspension is on the stiffer side, so you can feel the hardness in the chassis, and braking power is also quite adequate as it gets a single channel ABS only. Dual channel would have been better. It reaches 100 km per hour in the third gear. Now you might be wondering, why doesn't the F250 get a triple spark plug like the NS and RS 200? Bajaj says that the RS and NS have an oversteered engine, which is KTM inspired of course, so there is enough space for a triple spark plug. Now these engines are not running a lean mixture of air-fuel ratio, their mixture is more towards the idle. That is the reason it cannot be given a triple spark, since there is no enough space in the engine. Rideability and mid-range punch has been given a lot of preference, and the F250 directly competes with the FZ 250, which has weaker specs on paper and is slightly cheaper as well. So on this note, it's time to end the vlog. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye bye.